Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the handover of the Hope Manifesto and the closing session of this conference. Before we move forward, I take a moment to acknowledge all of you. Your openness, your engagement, and the depth of reflections you've brought into these past days. Today, I'm joined here on the presidency by Ms. Diana Jablonska, the Director of the Directorate General for Education, Youth, Sport and Culture, DG EAC from the Commission, and responsible for youth education and Erasmus+. I'm also, yes, please give an applause. I'm also joined by Jordi van den Hoven, teacher from the Netherlands and from the International School of Amsterdam, and part of the editorial committee of the Hope Manifesto. Also an applause. Also joined by Rósa, and here I have to do my best, Eyvindardóttir, from Iceland, for Mentatas Kolin Vinsut, and part of the editorial committee of the Hope Manifesto as well. Also by Nazlı Altınay, who was part of the Hope Manifesto for the process from EuroClio. And my colleague Laurence Bragard, who was part of the Hope Manifesto for the process from the House of European History. And here on the first row, the members of the editorial committee that worked a lot on the last days for this manifesto. So also a big applause to them. Over the past days, we have explored something that may seem simple at first, but in fact was deeply complex: history and hope. The manifesto draws on contributions gathered through several complementary formats during the conference, including written reflections, dedicated questions throughout the conference, participatory workshops, and a wall of hope. Together, these formats made it possible to capture a wide range of practices, concerns, aspirations, and commitments emerging from the conference community. We've also seen that hope does not seem the same thing to everyone. It shifts across languages, across backgrounds, and across different socio-economic realities. For some, hope is possibility. For others, it's resilience. And in some contexts, it can even feel fragile or contested. What has emerged from our exchanges is that hope in education cannot remain abstract. It needs to be grounded in classroom realities. Together, you have worked to shape a shared understanding of hope that is closely connected to your practice, and one that is supported by three key elements: mutual trust, safety, and agency. Mutual trust as the foundation that allows dialogue to happen. Safety as the condition that makes participation possible. And thirdly, agency as the space for students to see themselves as actors. These are not just ideals, these are tools. Tools that enable both teachers and learners to navigate complexity and uncertainty, to engage with difficult histories, and to create meaningful learning spaces. At the same time, you've highlighted the importance of emotion and equity to recognize how students might feel. The conditions in which they learn are central how hope can be built and sustained. What we are here to about is the results of a collective effort, a definition and a direction that comes directly from your experiences and reflections over the past days. And with that, it's now my pleasure to give the floor to those who have been highly involved in shaping this outcome, to explain both the process and the practical implications of what has been developed. And now I invite Jordi van den Hoven to take the floor.
Thank you, Guido. Goedemiddag. Buenas tardes. The Hope Manifesto is a collective expression of the history education community and a shared point of reference for wider dialogue. This manifest has been assembled by an editorial committee comprising 10 volunteers, representing 12 nationalities, 4 decades of birth, 20 languages, and 7 disciplines. They worked to consolidate and structure these contributions into a coherent final text. But this work of hope could not exist without including you, the community. With reflections, experiences, and commitments of around 250 teachers, researchers, and educators who contributed to its development through a structured, collaborative process during the conference. I will now give the floor to Rósa.
Góðan dag, kæru félagar, elsku félagar, góðan daginn. Dear community, I want to give you a short insight into the core message of the Hope Manifesto. We are a community. The manifesto starts with addressing the challenges we face, our different positionality. What do we bring into the classroom? Then we continue with addressing what does hope mean in history teaching today. Our values are equity, solidarity, inclusivity, empathy, trust. Emotions. Emotions are inevitable parts of critical historical thinking. And at last, what are our tools? Practices. We bring absent voices to the classroom. We use stories. We create safe spaces. The questions that we ask. And very important, as teachers, we have a responsibility to keep learning, to keep growing. And to conclude, I will now read the last sentence of the Hope Manifesto. This manifesto is our collective orientation on hope as a practice of history teaching, a shared commitment to make the classroom a place where hope is not only discussed, but built. And now Emer, who is in the editorial committee, will hand over the testimony to Jablonska.
It is our pleasure to present you with the Hope Manifesto today. We hope that its message will be far-reaching. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for having this honor to receive the manifesto. I would like to say that I was asked by Executive Vice President Mizato to represent her here, and I'm extremely happy that I got this honor. And we were very, she's passing you, first of all, very warm regards, and also asked that we do deliver this manifesto to her hands directly. So be reassured that that Vice President will receive it from us. First of all, I would like to congratulate you all. This is, I think, an extremely important, it's not a document, I would say, it's something more than a document, a commitment, a compass, a shared decision, as you beautifully also wrote the last day, the sentences from the manifesto, that it's something that you hope to, the hope is something that you need to come to shape together. So I think that will be something that we will be looking forward to look at, and also to see how we can reflect it in our work in the European Commission, because I understand that I was just handled indeed something very important, which is a shared compass for history education community. I understand community that includes teachers and also students, so I very much also congratulate the students that work with you on this important commitment. I think this, the moment in which you are discussing here today is also very important. If you are looking at a bit at the work that is done on the Commission level, we are very much right now pursuing many initiatives, and we look at school education and education as a whole and the skills that we're supposed to all gain through going through schools, and definitely one that comes very strongly recently, also looking at the geopolitical changes and the changes in the world, is citizenship, which very much is discussed, but also discussed in different professional groups, how to take it forward. And I think the history teachers also have an extremely important role, if not the most important, maybe even in the school community, to help us on this, because you help students to think, to receive information, and also to think critically, to understand the circumstances that things occur, why they occur, and what are the consequences of different decisions. So I think you, in the spectrum of the importance right now to develop critical thinking, democracy stance, citizenship, you have such an important role, and the more we are looking forward to study your manifesto, therefore. I also would like to underline that we are very happy to hear from teachers and from students too. We so often talk about teachers recently. Even in our own discussions, we have some debate and reflection whether teachers should be called the heart, the bloodstream, the skeleton, the backbone, maybe the live stream. So I'm just saying this, that we really have this debate because we want to underline how important your role is, and it's not anecdotal. It's really to underline that that we look at the profession very much, and although the policies related to the profession are very much in the hands, of course, of our member states, we also try to support this work on the EU level, and therefore it's so important for us that that can be heard here, that your voice can be heard, and that we hear from you. On this occasion. So that's definitely something that we very much cherish. If you follow the policy, you also saw that not so long time ago, Commission has put forward a very important initiative, Union of Skills, when also teachers are very important, and following up from this action plan on basic skills, all basic skills, including also citizenship, where the role of teaching is recognized. And we plan to work more. We want to do more in this coordinative, supportive role, and also recognizing the work of the Council with a recommendation important in the area. We also want to continue working on teachers' academies, for example, because we hope that on EU level we can learn from all your practices and scale local initiatives or local successes into the European solutions. This is something that it is not mine words, but the Executive Vice President as well. So we are working on this further. So this work definitely will inform very much our reflection, and therefore I again would like to very much Thank you for this, and reassure you that we will spread it around colleagues, and we will definitely also share it with our political leadership. Thank you very much, and huge congratulations for this work.
Thank you so much for these kind words, Ms. Jablonska, and also for acknowledging the importance of the role of teachers and how they contribute to society, and also that you actually can indeed learn from them and how they can actually support, let's say, local entities. And also that you will bring forward this message, this manifesto in the work of the Commission. I think that was also one of the aims of this conference, is the manifesto as a legacy, and that it actually carries, it travels forward. So it's much appreciated that you also will spread the word in the rest of the Commission. Also talking about traveling, also of course as hosting organizations, we will also do our best to make that happen. And also this we have already some reflections, and we already can actually also share the manifesto also online, so that all of you can read it as well. For these elements, I will warmly invite my colleague Laurence Bragard, but also Nazlı, Altınay together to reflect from both our organizations how we carry this message forward.
Thank you, Guido. Usually, the people that are sitting in the hemicycle are the members of the European Parliament. They are called here MEP. But for the last 3 days, you have been sitting in this room, and I would like to suggest that we call you the member of the Hope Conference. MEHC, yes. MEP are elected by citizens. You, MEHC, are citizen, and I have witnessed over the last 4 days that you have been citizening, like our keynote John Alexander invited us to do, to transform the word citizen to a verb and citizening. You have been doing this in the different workshops. You have been doing this in this room, and I witnessed that with the editorial committee, how all of you have been citizening by listening to the voice of the people from the conference to transform this in this Hope Manifesto. Something has grown during this conference. With citizening, we got a responsibility from this MEHC. This responsibility is to pay attention to what has grown. We've also learned that during the opening with the keynote. To recognize that it has grown, to care about this Hope Manifesto, and to help us to make it travel. How can we have this Hope Manifesto travel? Personally, as the person in charge of learning resources at the House of European History, it will be a source of inspiration. It will be a way to draft new and create new learning resources together with teachers, as we do in the House of European History. But it will also be something that I will travel with when I have the opportunity to work with our educational stakeholders. I would like to invite all of you, my MEHC colleagues, to do the same and travel with this Hope Manifesto with you. You can travel to your school, you can give it to your colleagues, you can give it to your students if you want to show what you've been doing during the 3 days where you weren't with them. You can present it to your community. Let's continue the journey, because hope travels with people that carry it. Before I close, I would like to give the floor to Nazlı, who will present to you how EuroClio will support this journey from their side via also the website of the conference. Nazlı, the floor is yours. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Laurence. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so glad to share my appreciation that the Hope Manifesto is the final product of our conference as a collaborative effort by you. Thanks to everyone who shared their ideas and also the editorial committee for their hard work to put them all together. Now I'm going to share the 3 stages of the future of Hope Manifesto. Firstly, you will be able to access the Hope Manifesto via our conference website. Please have a look and share it widely, as you are the main components, writers, people who made it possible. Now you can access the primary version, and a full version will be published in following days. I would like to thank you for your input to Wall of Hope. It was a pleasure to see that it became a creative, interactive, and dynamic engagement throughout the conference by your contributions. It has a special meaning to me because you made a trainee idea possible, who is me. I'm glad to share that the Wall of Hope you contributed to will be also available digitally on the conference website. Thanks to that, the wall will be a permanent representation of your moments. I'm happy to share that the contributions will not be limited within these 4 days. There will be a new project to continue the legacy of Hope Manifesto with a dedicated digital gallery named Digital Hope Gallery. You are invited to share historical photographs that give you hope or reflect a hopeful moment from the past. By that idea, sharing the hopeful moments from the past will not be staying only here within these 4 days, but will continue to travel around. Hope is not only for now, it is for future. You will receive an email within the instructions for how you can make your new contributions to the Digital Hope Gallery that will be live and actively updated with your new contributions. You are welcomed and invited to continue to share, collaborate, and connect through the moments of hope in the history by our channels. Thank you for your all sharing your hopes with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Nazlı, for sharing all of these elements, and I indeed invite everybody to scan the QR code and to also let's read the manifesto and to spread the manifesto in your, let's say, in your context. To conclude, some final words as a hosting organization to conclude this conference from our side before I invite everybody from the editorial committee to make a picture. As we have heard in the last half an hour, History in Hope is more than a conference title, it's a commitment. And what you have shown here is that this commitment is alive across classrooms, museums, and communities all over Europe. Over the past sessions, you have explored how history education can strengthen resilience, nurture agency, and open spaces for young people to see themselves as actors in shaping the future. At the House of European History, we were proud to have welcomed you, not just as visitors, but as active partners in reimagining what learning can make possible. These museums continue to invite reflection, dialogue, and curiosity. Thank you for your generosity, your courage to question, and your willingness to build together. We look forward to welcome you back and to continuing this shared journey toward a hopeful future. And this starts this evening with a festive party for who wants to stay. So, and for the ones that might not be able, safe travels for now and hope to see you on another occasion. Thank you.